Hello, welcome back. Glad to have you for this third class together. Today I will be introducing a concept class. So the concept is processing stress. We'll be revisiting this throughout the course of our 30 minutes together, and a little different than maybe what we did with our last few classes. But as you make your way to your mats, probably do not need to remind you to turn your phones on silence unless there's a chance you will be urgently needed. And as you make your way to your mats, we will begin with the heads facing the front of the room on your backs. And as you make your way there, I will let you know that processing stress means you know how to move stress hormones out of your body, change your brain waves, and how to regulate after activation. So, in order to process stress out of the tissues, we will have to have intentional movement, controlled breathing, and allow for recovery time. So, we will be doing all three things of those today. We'll be revisiting this throughout class and providing examples and allowing you time to ponder how you can implement this in your life away from the yoga mat. So it looks like everyone's ready to get started. On your back, we will start with the reclined 3-part breath. As a reminder, this is belly, ribs, chest, ribs, belly. Place those hands on the abdomen and on the rib cage so you can feel this expansion. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly. A couple more here. And begin to add those arms. With the next inhalation, take those arms overhead for that count of 3. And as you exhale, chest, ribs, belly, those hands come down beside the body. Again, inhale, arms go up, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, arms come down beside the body, chest, ribs, belly. Moving into a coherency breath, we're going to change up our breath work style to allow you an option to engage away from the mat. This, again, is your opportunity to process stress away from the mat. Choose a tactical breath work component that you've learned here with us just over these 3 weeks. So, coherency breath. Draw in that inspiration for 3. Hold for 2. Exhale for 5. This is your coherency breath. Inhale for 1, 2, 3. Hold at the peak for 2. Exhale for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and repeat, knowing that tactical breath work, this control of your breath gives you direct access to your nervous system. So that's why we always start there. I'm hoping that you have already found this is a common theme with the beginning of all of our classes. You should be close to a completion of 5 coherency breath cycles. So let's take one more together. Inhaling for a count of 3. Holding for 2. Exhale for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And with that processing of stress, notice how you feel right now. It hasn't even been 5 minutes. You've worked on some breath work, and you should notice a different change in sensorium of how your body feels, how your mind feels, compared to the moment you walked into this room and threw your mat down on the ground. Take a moment to notice the difference, and we'll begin to add a little movement to our yoga practice. So inhale, knees to chest, wrap around those legs, give it a tight squeeze and release. Let the feet stay above the mat, but let the knees drift away from the body, arms out to a T. So with the knees away from the body, this engages the core, keeping the knees up towards the chest. You end up just rocking on that lower back. So with your next exhalation, allow both knees to drift to the right. Inhale, knees to center. Exhale, knees to the left. Inhale to center, use that core. Exhale, knees to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale to the right. A few more cycles here, noticing you may get each twist a little deeper. Those knees may approximate the floor a little closer with each side to side. Now, the next time those knees are coming to the right, we'll take a pause. Looks like everyone has their knees drift to the right. You'll notice that left shoulder blade wants to lift. Mentally press that left shoulder blade back down. Knees are to the right. Maybe take your gaze out over the left shoulder and breathe. Inhaling and exhaling. On this third breath in stillness, I will have you take your exhalation with a cognitive declaration. So silently say to yourself, I release what I do not need. Inhale, knees back to center. Exhale, knees to the left. Again, it will be that opposite shoulder. It will be that right shoulder that wants to lift. Encourage that shoulder back to the mat. Knees are to the left. Take that gaze gently opposite, so out to the right. Pause here for 3 full breath cycles. And on your last exhalation on that third cycle, silently say to yourself, I release what I do not need. After you have completed that, go ahead and flip over to your bellies. We are going to prepare for some cobras. So go ahead, zip up through the thighs, big toes touch. Press down through the shoelace portions of your feet. Hands should be flat to the mat, in by the ribs, elbow points facing up. On the next inhale, lift the head and chest. Exhale, forehead to floor. Let's repeat that. On the next inhale, lift your head and chest. Exhale, forehead to floor. Another one just like that. And finally, one more lift on that inhalation, and we will hold for a full breath cycle. Maybe float the fingers so you realize you are not supporting that lift. Exhale, forehead to floor. Go ahead, make your way to tabletop, stacking the hips above the knees, shoulders above the wrist, neutral spine, and begin your cat-cow. Inhale, drop your waist, chin up to the ceiling. Exhale, rounding through the back, tucking the chin to the chest. Inhale, drop your waist, chin up to the ceiling. Exhale, round through the back, tuck the chin to the chest. A couple more here on your own. We will move to half downward facing dog, taking those hands one palm print forward. Hips stay above the knees. Elongate through that spine. One straight line from the hips down the back, through the neck, pressing the chest towards the thighs. Hold here for 3 breath cycles. Transitioning to a full downward facing dog, just begin to straighten those legs. Only so far as you can maintain the integrity of that spine, so the knees may still require a gentle bend in them. Go ahead, press that chest towards the thighs. One full breath in downward dog. And when you are ready, go ahead, roll to your plank and hold. high plank or low plank. Inhale, stay. Exhale, slowly lower to the mat. Bring those hands in beside the ribs, elbows pointing up. Inhale your cobra, baby cobra, or up dog. Exhale, down as you lift the hips, shift your weight back and find that downward dog. Inhale, bend the knees, look to the hands. Exhale, step the feet to hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, down. Inhale, reverse that swan dive, arms overhead. Exhale, arms to outside 90. Inhale, overhead. Exhale, hands down beside the body in mountain. Let's pause in mountain, refresh ourselves here. This is not a resting pose. This is engaged, starting with the feet. See if you can think about spreading the toes wide. Firm foundation of the feet. Work your way up those legs, engaging the quads, the glutes, the abs. Roll those shoulders back and down with that imaginary pencil between the shoulder blades. Arms are long and strong. Fingers are splayed. And tuck that head slightly back. All these cues that I give so routinely now will become part of your repertoire, and you will consciously walk yourself through these. Each time we pause in a pose, you will make your adjustments. I'll be there to remind you. But take a moment, review all of those one more time as we stand in mountain. And let's move to some sun salutations. So inhale those arms overhead. Exhale, outside 90. Inhale, forward. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, down, stepping the feet out. Find your plank. Inhale, hold. Exhale, lower to the mat. Inhale, baby cobra, cobra, or up dog. Exhale, down, shifting your weight back, hips up, downward facing dog. Inhale, coming forward, stepping the feet to the hands. Find your half lift, and exhale down. Inhale, reverse your swan dive, arms overhead. Exhale, outside 90. Inhale, forward. Exhale, swan dive down. We'll repeat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, down. Step it out to your plank. Inhale, hold. Exhale, lower to the mat. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, shift your weight back, lift those hips, find your downward dog. Inhale, look to the hands. Exhale, walk, step, or hop, feet to hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, down. Inhale, roll it up. Arms reverse that swan dive. Exhale, outside 90. Inhale, forward. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, down. Step it back to your plank. Hold here. Let's hold for a couple breaths. Telling yourself you are processing stress as we work through this. If you are noticing discomfort, change your mindset. This is a challenge, not a threat. How is your pace of breathing? How is your posture? Are those legs engaged? Is your spine straight? Don't let those hips sag. And the next exhalation, take a full count of 5 to slowly lower to the mat. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Find your baby cobra, cobra, or up dog, and let's hold for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. On your next exhale, find that downward dog. Lift those hips high. Inhale, bend the knees, look to the hands. Exhale, step, walker, hop, feet to hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, down. Inhale, reverse that swan dive. Exhale, outside 90. Exhale, forward. And let's take those hands down to the side. Find mountain again. Remind yourself of all those details we just reviewed. Find yourself stillness, regulation in mountain. While you are here, adjust your feet to 10 and 2. And remember, part of processing stress is your perception of the moment. As we enter into our next drills, keep in mind you will maintain your focus on the present and interpret any discomfort as a challenge versus a threat. I will help to keep you in the present. For each time we move through our horse pose drills, I am going to ask you to alter your grip from your fist on the right to your fist on the left. I'll explain as we go, but I will just ask you to change that warrior grip each time you descend with your exhale into that horse. That will keep you present as well. So with those feet at 10 and 2, a wider step, take those legs beyond hip distance. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, find that first horse. Let's take that right hand to the grip, left hand cup. Settle on in. Notice your form. Toes are under the knees. Your butt is back. Your spine is straight. Your shoulders are back. You are pressing into that grip and using that force to roll those shoulders back. We will inhale again. Arms overhead. Force through those heels and legs as you stand. Exhale. Find that opposite warrior grip as you descend into your horse. So you get a feel for it here. We are going to do 10 of those. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, warrior grip, horse. Change that grip. Inhale, lengthen through the legs. Use those big muscles to stand. Exhale, horse with that warrior grip. That's 2. Inhale, press from the heels up the glutes, arms overhead. Exhale, alter that grip as you sink into your horse. Inhale, lengthen, stand. Exhale, squat to that horse, change that grip. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Where is your mind? Inhale. Exhale. This is a challenge. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Are you changing that grip? Are you still with me? Inhale. Exhale. I believe that's about 10, but let's do one more for good measure. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale. Squat into that horse and hold. So as we hold, we will be passing through 3 breath cycles. I am going to offer you to deepen that squat. So inhale, stay. Exhale, repeat after me. I got this. Maybe you choose to sink. Inhale, stay. Exhale out loud. I got this. Maybe you sink that tail a little bit deeper. One more time. Inhale, stay. Exhale, repeat after me. I got this. Okay, go ahead. Stand all the way up, arms overhead. Stay in that wide-legged mountain. Exhale those hands down beside the body and breathe. So, as you regulate here in stillness, reconnect with that breath. You just created a challenge for yourself to train under stress and maintain control of your nervous system through your breath. Those same lessons of processing stress, which we are training here, can be duplicated in life and with work challenges. So think about that again. What we just did, we created a challenge, not a stress, in a controlled environment. Put your body into some uncomfortable positions, added some positive cognitive declarations, added the breath work, and told yourself, I got this. Reinforcing you can handle stress as opposed to saying, this sucks, I can't do this, and just changing the mindset of how you approach and deal with your stress. So we are going to slowly make our way to the mats by way of fan pose. So those feet are still in a wide stance. Let's inhale those arms overhead. Exhale, hands to the waist. Roll those shoulders back. You are going to take a slow forward fold with the hands to the hip, long straight spine until you get parallel to the horizon. And then release the hands to some blocks or to the mat in front of you. And let the body hang heavy. Release the tension from the neck. Beginning to cool down. Hopefully by now you've noticed your heart rate, your respiratory rate are returning to alignment with more of your natural biorhythms. Returning to that controlled breath work. Maintaining. If ever you lose that connection with your breath, you are pressing too much into the physical portion of the drill and you need to back off. That is your guide. Your breath is your guide. Continue this breath for another 30 seconds here in your fan pose. Just to let you know where we are going to end up on our butts. So 2 ways to get there when we move. You're still here in fan. Breathing, listening. To get to your butts, you can either come to the knees, to a tabletop, shift your hips, and make your way to your butt. Or passively, if you like a deep squat, allowing those knees and hips to bend a little deeper, you can take that squat all the way to the mat for a breath or two before you lower completely. So go ahead, let's make your way there. We'll all find ourselves on our butts in some form or fashion, and once you are there, we will begin to position ourselves for cobbler's pose. Removing the armor, getting some stress out of the deep tissues, the fascia, the joints. That deep squat, if you took that, assisted you on your way there. In cobbler's pose, the soles of the feet come together. Maybe you support the thighs and knees with your blocks if they're handy. Spine is tall and elongated. Grabbing a hold of the feet or ankles, roll those shoulders back. Encourage that long, straight spine. And then exhale, hinging at the hips. Keeping that long, straight spine for a moment. Returning to that breath. And on the next exhale, let's revisit that cognitive declaration we had at the beginning of class. Silently say to yourself, I release what I do not need. And with your next exhalation, go ahead and allow the spine to round, the head to drop, and just drape forward for another 2 full breath cycles. Rolling through the spine to come back to seated. Extend those legs forward. Flex the feet. Engage the quadriceps. Lift the heels off the mat and inhale those arms overhead. Exhale, seated forward fold for 1 full breath. This will be our transition to our backs. Inhale, lifting the upper body up. Keep those legs engaged. Exhale, use the core to slowly lower down. 1 vertebrae at a time, making your way all the way down to your backs. Enjoy 1 full long body stretch from fingertip to toe, and then bring the hands down beside the body. You can choose to have the hands down beside the body or on top of the abdomen if you like the feedback of the rise and fall of the abdomen as we move into our belly breath countdown. This is our neuro reset portion of the class. Do not check out. Stay here with your breath, with your mind connected. Everything else can wait. As I inhale, my belly rises. As I exhale, my belly falls. That's 1. We're going to do this 10 times. We're going to start from 10, and if you need to say to yourself that same statement, as I inhale, my belly rises. As I exhale, my belly falls. That's 10. Let's go to 9. As I inhale, my belly rises. As I exhale, my belly falls. That's 9. As I inhale, my belly rises. As I exhale, my belly falls. Continue on your own. I believe we should be getting close, so go ahead and finish out your 10 and remind yourself why you are here. Notice the sensations in the room, on your skin, your heart, your breath. Finish up those last few countdowns and remind yourself you are here to process stress, build resilience, and enhance your performance. Return your breath to your body. If you have your hands on your chest or abdomen, go ahead and let those fall to the side. We'll rest in stillness, and I'll bring you back. I've got my eye on the clock. Go ahead and rest. Release what you do not need. As you begin to reintroduce small movements to your body, maybe touching each finger to the thumb with a tight pinch, index finger to thumb, middle finger to thumb, ring finger, pinky. Begin to rotate through the ankles and the wrists. I am going to read to you something from a behavioral scientist who has something to say about processing stress. So, Kevin Gilmartin, who's a behavioral scientist and specializes in law enforcement and public safety issues, is also author of Emotional Survival for Law Enforcement. He says that stress is a combination of high demands plus low control. So how often are you in that situation? High demands and low control of your environment, right? So how do you regain control in that situation? What kinds of things can you do? You can control your breath. You can notice the pattern. You can add a technique you've learned during technical breathwork portion of our classes. You can mentally reframe the situation, asking yourself, is this a challenge or a threat? Possibly you can add a cognitive declaration that supports your positive approach to whatever situation it is you face. So mental reframing, controlling your breath, ways that you can gain control in a low control, high demand situation. Go ahead and make your way up to your seated position. And I would like to thank all of you for attending today, and I hope to see you next class.